Now, I want everyone to introduce yourselves. Afsaneh asked me to ask you guys that if it is okay, she will introduce herself at the end. And she apologized because her English might not be the best. And I might try to help in the middle to facilitate just in case. So please be patient with Afsaneh. Now I set the live on Facebook as well while you're introducing. You know the rules. People will introduce themselves based on the order on the monitor. So Nina, please introduce yourself first.
So my name is Nina Bondarenko, and speaking about not having such very good English, I had no English when I came to Australia as a little displaced person with my parents from the Soviet Union. So I'm very, very interested in culture from all around the world, and traveled around the Silk Road and spent about 3 weeks in Iran in 2015. So now, with my love of all this, I now have a shop called Silk Road Rugs and Tours, and I try to follow as much of Bachman's virtual tours as possible because it just reminds me of when I traveled and how beautiful it all is. I'm based in Melbourne.
Awesome, perfect. The next person is Caroline. Caroline, if you could introduce yourself, that would be great.
Yes, hi, my name's Caroline and I live in Riddles Creek, country Victoria. And I've now done, this will be my third tour with Barman. Well, it's not a tour, whatever you call it, this one. I've done 2 Iranian tours and then this. So
Awesome.
that's fantastic. Yeah, I've never been to Iran, but I love traveling.
Yes, yes. And Caroline is a serious fan of Maulana. I've been invited to an amazing Rumi reading session in English, which was quite a new thing. Sandra, you're the next person. If you could introduce yourself, that would be great.
Sorry, I'm Sandra from Melbourne, and this is also my third Persian session I've done, and I've got another one tomorrow, which is cooking, which I'm really looking forward to.
Awesome, awesome. And Emily, you are the next person. Emily and Musa.
Hey, Musi.
So we have Musi. We have one Iranian person in this tour apart from Afsaneh. Musa is Emily's partner. But you know about the rules of my tour. The first time Emily was the person who introduced the others. Now it's Musa's turn. Sorry.
Introduce yourself.
And Emily.
How are you, everyone? It's I'm Musi. Actually, I'm from Iran, and I live in Melbourne for 11 years. And how can I say? I don't know. I gotta say thanks, Barman, for telling people about my culture, and I'm really happy to follow you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, that's perfect. You know that you need to introduce Emily as well, not only yourself.
Oh, it's always about him, I tell you.
Okay, now introduce Emily.
And who am I?
And she's my beautiful partner. It's a long story, but I saw her from 6 years ago. And I'm really happy with her. She's a beautiful Australian girl.
Yeah.
She's a single mom.
They don't need to know my whole story. It's fine.
Okay, perfect. The last person for the time, I hope more people joining, is Tara. Tara also been in my on my tour. Tara, if you could introduce yourself, that would be really great. Tara. Tara.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Tara. Yeah, if you could introduce yourself before we start, that would be really great.
Hello, my name's Tara. I have done a number of tours. I've Persia currently, and I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about the country today.
Awesome, perfect. So Afsaneh, that was the people for the time being. I hope more people joining, but now it's your turn to introduce yourself.
My name is Afsaneh, and you can know about me during my presentation, but I love nature and culture, and I'm really happy that I'm living in Iran, and I discover everything in every places of my country. I hope I can show you something about Iran.
Okay, perfect. Jaya joined us as well. Jaya, if you could quickly introduce yourself. Afsaneh, Jaya is a tour guide based in India, and after that we will kick off the tour. We'll kick off the meeting.
Hi friends, my name is Jay Chandran, call me Jay. I'm from India, I'm from Kerala, the southwest corner of India, one of the beautiful places in our country. I also work as a tour guide for more than 30 years. And nice to see you all.
Awesome, perfect. Okay, let's just start the meeting. So today I will be in service for Afsaneh. Afsaneh, which document I want me to show first? I already showed one of the videos. It was in Persian, but it was the best I could have done until you joined. So if you start introducing yourself, and after that, let me know if you want me to share the presentation or the video, that would be great. Usually when in Iran, we don't have a perfect internet. That's why I'm handling the content from my side. Okay, let's start. We're gonna have around 20 minutes of Afsaneh to introducing herself and the project. And after that, we will be in a QA session. And based on what I know from you guys, I'm hoping to have a perfect and amazing discussion. Afsaneh, if you could introduce yourself and start your presentation, that would be great. And let me know which one I want to share before you start each section. Which document you want me to share.
Okay, if you are agree, that video, very small video, you are now we have lots of sound because sound. Okay, please start with that video with music and with folk dance.
Okay. What I do, I will share a new video that you haven't seen. It's a quick video, and after that, Afsaneh will introduce herself. So what I do, I mute everyone as well, because that's the reason we have this echo on the thing. And after our video, I will unmute Afsaneh. So I'll let you to enjoy the second video.
حوصله ندارم پارچه من دارم خیاطی نمیدارم با دست بدوزی سوزن که داریم سوزن که دارم که نخ برسونم من نخ میکنم چایمون خوردیم درست کنیم
Okay, how did you find this video, and how did you find these dolls, and how cool that can be for the kids? Before Afsaneh start, maybe it's good to ask, what was your impression of this video? Nina, you're muted. Afsaneh, you're muted as well. Let's Nina speak first.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I have a bachelor in biology and a master in tourism planning. During my study, I was excited because under microscope, I can find something very strange. And when I was talking about this value to other people, usually people don't pay attention. And in that time, about 20 years before, I looking for a way to show people importance of nature. I found a way in ecotourism field. I continue my lesson in tourism planning, and I try to have a good way for introduce value of nature and culture during ecotourism. In 2005, my husband and me founded a non-commercial institute for training about ecotourism. If it's possible, please show this PowerPoint. I have a PowerPoint that I had a presentation 2018 in Turin about dolls, and people ask me what's the relationship between folk dolls and conservation of nature and culture, and I prefer to use this PowerPoint to show you. I try to have friendly talking, but because of frankly, when I was in your country in 2011 at the Sydney airport, I found, oh my God, I can't speak English. I had a presentation in Eco Global in conference, and I and my husband lost everything, because we find that Australian speak very fast, and I lost my self-confidence. Because of this challenge, I asked Behnam that we have a PowerPoint. I can speak better and fluent.
Okay. We can. I already let Afsaneh knows about Australian humor. Maybe before we share the PowerPoint, Nina, Caroline, anyone else, please share what you thought about this video. How did you feel? Or if you could have related to that, to any of your story of childhood or personal experiences or anything like that. Also, if you want to have some Australian humor with Afsaneh, to let her know about humor. The only thing is that, Afsaneh, my name is Bahman. It is not Behnam.
Oh my God, sorry.
Okay, who'd like to start first? If you have anything, you guys are muted. You need to unmute yourself first.
It was good to see the different regions, how the dolls differ.
Yes.
Like they have their own, and that's what Mossy was just explaining to me. They have their own unique style, each region.
Yes.
Type thing. Yeah.
Yes.
That was quite interesting to know and to learn about.
Awesome. It's just a start. Who has any impression or idea after that? Nina, you wanted to talk? Would you like to share?
Yes. Well, I love the way that they wrapped up, swaddled the little dolls up the way that our mothers used to swaddle us, because we had to be so tightly wrapped. And that was really very, very sweet. But a lot of the different styles were just gorgeous.
Okay, and
Yeah.
did it remind you anything from your childhood from Russia?
Yes, well, just, the wrapping in the little blanket, because when we brought our little children home, we had to absolutely keep them tightly wrapped.
Awesome.
And I also remembered at our primary school that we had to make a little rag doll. So we had to stitch this little doll up all by ourselves and make the face and, embroider the little mouth. So it did bring back the memories of my early childhood. Yes.
Awesome, perfect. And we have Angela joined us, and I can see Tara probably want to share something with us. Tara is
Yes.
very curious to have a better understanding of what are the different layers of the women culture and women's life in Iran. I think probably this presentation will be really good because lots of people involved in this project are Iranian women from different parts of the society. So it
Right.
will be a great observation. So we have Tara to share. After that, Jaya, if you could share something from Indian culture, or if you have any similar things, if you have dolls in India after Tara, that would be great. And Angela, if you like, after that, you can introduce yourself before we go to the presentation. And I should say, Afsaneh is a little bit of a professor kind of person. So when she presents something, that sounds and feel like being a university. So I will use my right being an admin, if I find it getting too serious and academic, to cheer up the session with some humor. So Tara, could you please share what you have to say? Thank you.
I was just going to say that my grandmother taught me to sew from a very young age, and that watching that video brought back some lovely memories of spending my time spending with my grandmother when she was teaching me to sew. And we made some dolls' clothes, and then we made some clothes I used to wear, and yeah, it was a very nice time in my childhood. And it was interesting to see the role of women in the doll making and that. So I'm interested to learn more about that and how women join together and share and teach.
Awesome. And I should say that's one of the takeouts of this project. Uh, and this is what Afsaneh shared with me. They had that intention to share the local culture and had some understanding that these dolls are not just the toys. It's a great way to transfer the culture. But as much as they get more into this project, they realize there are much deeper layers into that. For example, transferring the life skills to the little kids from the grandmother's side, a whole lot of different things. Jaya, if you have anything to share with us from Indian culture, or if you have similar thing in India, that would be great. And after that, Angela, don't feel any pressure, but if you like, you can introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, of course, India is also have a lot in the field of making toys and dolls. It's a big, geographical difference between place to place. Each state is like a different country. So we all have our own, styles of making dolls. Where I live is basically where, as a child, I never was given a toy which was bought. We always used to make the dolls at home, so, especially in coconut leaves or the wooden ones. Mostly it's all forgotten with the coming of all these electronic gadgets. Even the smallest kids are now playing with that. Definitely, it is actually great remembrance of our past, our culture, the stories, because each of the dolls which I played with, each one had a story of mythology. So each one tells you a story. So definitely, it's very interesting to know about. When I saw the video, it really took me back to when I was a little child playing with the dolls. Great.
That's okay. That's okay, Angela. That's exactly one of the takeaways and understanding of Afsaneh of this project. She realized each doll has a story related to whole lots of things. And luckily, because of her effort nowadays, we still have those dolls and we still have those stories. So now, if you agree, maybe we start doing the presentation. I think that would be much easier to, that would be much easier in terms of communication, and Afsaneh prefer this way. I will share up from time to time and it won't be long, and after that we can have our discussion. Thanks for your patience and let's enjoy this part of the presentation.
Okay, thank you, everybody. My story started in 2005. 2007, when one part of UNDP, SGP, Small Grants Program, and Global Environmental Facility asked us to have a project for conservation of habitats of a very critical endangered species of turtle. We call it hawksbill turtle. People use this egg of this turtle as a food, and they didn't have any information about importance of this egg and this species. So they ask us make a project, capacity building project for coming ecotourists to visit this, this place. And we, Bahman, is it possible? Please change a slide.
Sure.
And I after establish of my institute, after trying to improve awareness of people about importance of nature, in 2007 they asked me this project in south of Iran for conservation of this kind of turtle. In this project, I have a good opportunity to interaction with local people and especially women. I had good chance to listen to them and feel a real life, and find some challenges. For example, I find that the most important challenge, maybe social challenge in this village that I had worked in, that was a lack of identity, or maybe I can say about, they didn't like their identity, or maybe they wanted to change something, like some country in south of them, for example, Arab countries like Emirates and others. I try to make them with identity in peace, and I find that something like, please change PowerPoint.
Yeah, sure.
And I find that when I or other people focus on culture, or cultural diversity, they can conserve biodiversity too. We need some product for tourists, like something that completely related to that culture. Unfortunately, because of Chinese products, I remember I was looking for platypus doll in Australia, and I just find everything made in China, and I look for I was looking for a platypus made in Australia, and
I finally, successful project, and I had really made in Australia, platypus made in Australia. In this disaster we had in Iran, and maybe in these days because of some economical problem, maybe we will again revive our product too. Okay, during lots of products, I find that as you told about your memory and your feeling about dolls, I find that when women make these dolls, they are very happy, and they realize something deeply, and they find out their identity. And when I feel this magic of dolls, I focus on that during my project. After that, I have about 7 international projects, and I try to revive every dolls in every province. Till 2020 until now, we have 27 villages that they revive, and their skills of making folk dolls as an intangible heritage from grandmother. And I'm really happy to find this. And I I and my team try to discover every kinds of these folk dolls. And I hope we can go have good connection with other countries. We have some meeting and some conference with Middle Asia, and we have some conferences in Europe and other countries to ask them join us to find this very important cultural heritage in their grandmother. I'm worried about grandmother when they lost their life, especially during the corona. They will lost their skills of making this um, folk dolls. Please change.
So everyone, do you remember that the nature and culture tour? It's like dolls on every part with the local costume. So yep.
Okay. Um, we know that this kind of folk dolls maybe not is not very interested in children. We focus on mother and grandmother and fathers and grandfathers. In the future, we want to make a little change in this kind of folk for making for children too. Somebody want to compare folk dolls with Barbie, and I ask them, please don't compare these two completely different dolls, because as you know, it's completely different, and we want to revive something inside their mind, and we want to go step by step. Okay. You can see several kinds of folk dolls, and if it's possible, Bahman, if it's possible, I can show something real dolls, if it's possible.
Yeah. So if you wait, I need to stop sharing. And now everyone can see. Everyone see Afsaneh very well? If you speak, you will become the on full screen.
Okay, this they are very simple, and in your country you have aboriginal people. I love them, and very pure. You have them very pure, but we our people are indigenous people, or maybe just we can call them local people, and they change everything during the time. And but nowadays with these dolls, they pay attention to very simple things, and importance of using hands for making something. It's a kind of dolls in north of Iran. This clothes made by, in the past they use it with silk, but nowadays they use other materials. And they didn't have all our folk dolls don't have face, because they believe that we have several reasons for faceless dolls. But the most important is in our culture, they believe that just God can make something completely. When a person makes something like dolls, have to make not complete something without a face. For example, this is complete, and it's a little bit new. We call it Khorshid Khanum in Isfahan province. She has face, but most it's related, making folk dolls related to about 100 years before in Qajar decade. But most dolls, they haven't face like this. It's related to Turkmen. It's close to Turkmenistan and Russia, and a little bit is close to their side. Most of folk dolls have wood, as my friend told. They make this with wood. Usually they put two part of wood together and wrap them. And we have some kind of folk dolls is related to soft Khorasan in east of Iran, and it's a way of wrapping children, and it's very common in Iran now.
Yeah. So we call it qondar when Iranians, like the little babies, the mother used to wrap them like this. So this doll is exactly the same sign. Oh, Sandra, thanks. Swaddling. Yes, continue.
Okay, and usually a mother has lullaby for a baby, and we try to revive different kind of lullaby in different kinds of Iran. And if you are interested in this case, we can have a meeting about lullaby in Iran, and we can use their women voice in this case. This is a very simple doll in north of Iran. We have a province, Gilan, that we have lots of forests, and we have very good condition for agriculture. And women in this place don't have enough time to make something for baby. So, it's the most simple dolls that I have seen up to now. They didn't have enough time. So they make their scarf, in this case, at very soon make these dolls and put it inside the children's hands.
And I like this. It's very simple and friendly. And we have something like that in, we call it Duchtoluk. Duchtoluk means little baby, little girl. It's related to south of Iran. That project that I talked about this for conservation of. They make this for conservation of hawksbill turtle that it is critically endangered. Is it okay? Do you have any question? I continue in this way or not? Any comment? Any question?
Yeah, I think Sandra has a comment or question.
No, they're absolutely beautiful, and it's amazing how different they are for different regions. And I like the fact that the people who don't have much time made something really basic but very beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank
So yeah, perfect. If you have any questions, please ask. And Jaya asked a question, and you can always type in the chat box as well while Afsaneh is presenting. And after that, I will coordinate from my side, because it probably might not be the easiest for Afsaneh to read the question. So Afsaneh, Jaya asked, is there any significance in the colors that they use? It's a really good question.
Yes, it's completely, as I show to this PowerPoint, every, every dolls completely related to geographical characteristics of that place. And completely related to every color and every material, completely related to that area. For example, I can show you, I love this. It is one of the best dolls, or I can't call it dolls. You can see this, it's rice. We have rice in north of Iran, and there is an intangible heritage behind this. When people gather rice, they use in pastime. Unfortunately, in pastime, and we are trying to revive this event. And we had two events in this case that I tell you. They gather the last part of rice from, we call it jalis, mazra'e farm. Rice field, we call it jalis. In north of Iran, we call it jalis. After gathering all rice, the last part of that, they make it in this case, and they get this to a cow that help them to gather this rice. And one part to that cow, and other make this and they hang it in the room, and they ask God, please help us to have this rice again in the future. So this completely related to that geographical characteristic, and they have several story behind them. Okay, and if it's possible, show PowerPoint, please.
Yeah. Okay, we are on the PowerPoint again.
Yes. Next page, please.
Yeah.
Yes, we had, this activity, usually people didn't know about that. And some people tell me it's not very good activity. It's useless, and there is no money and something like that. But we had lots of safeguarding activities by a very big volunteer. I know your country is very famous for volunteer activities, and I excited when I arrived to Sydney airport, and lots of people, especially old people, have jackets that has writes volunteers. And when I was whale watching experience in your country, I saw lots of volunteers, and your country. I like your country for several reasons, especially for volunteer activities. And in my country, we have not completely in your style volunteer activities. We have we have a concept, we call it vare, not collaboration, a little bit different, completely related to women. For example, when my grandmother wanted to make a paste potato, all family gathered together and make them. And after that, it was, for example, our house turn, and people gather to our house. This activity in city is a little bit different with villages. If it's possible, please show my picture, Bahman. I want to show you something.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Afsaneh, you want me to change the page or?
Okay, no, I want to please show me on face. I want to show you something for Yari Gari and tolls.
Okay, just a sec.
Sorry,
that's all right. Yeah.
Yes. This is toys. It's very big. It is a little bit bigger. It's related to north of Iran, and it's toys for collaboration between people, even especially with women. In Iran, as an intangible heritage, we have something like that. They borrow something together. For example, this woman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 8 times gathers 1 kilo milk from her neighbor. And for example, other people, another. And when borrow something together and they help together, they raise some thing of this wood. We have lots of things like that, like this, for example. We call it tadune, some symbol for these activities and other. If we have time, maybe in next time we can talk about this detail in our culture, and we are trying to find them. Just we like باستانشناسی میشه
archaeologist.
Yes, we like archaeologists, or we find them inside. Inside.
It means that they are like the archaeologists of the culture, of the folk culture. Yeah. They dig different local areas and picking up the things from the really old traditions and cultures. Yeah.
Yes. And we try to make them as a gift for tourists for talking about the story. And okay, we have lots of volunteer in every part of Iran, some teachers, some some researchers, and other are volunteer. Okay, with volunteer, we had lots of activity, as you can see in PowerPoint. And at the end, I can show you, if it's possible, please. I promise don't change again this page of
Yeah, sure.
PowerPoint, please.
Yeah, that's okay, anytime. So I will switch to the PowerPoint again. Before we continue, does everyone have any question, any comment, or anything that what she or he want like to share with us?
Okay. Okay, continue. Can I continue?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you can see several activities that we had in the villages, about 27 villages, and lots of people like Bahman that come to our classes and train about the importance of culture and nature of Iran. They gather together and joined us as a volunteer, and we went to the villages and helped people to raise their you know, self-confidence. In the next page, you can see some project achievements, social achievements, economical achievement, and environmental achievement. Increasing self-confidence and communication skills, and team working in Iranian style, and taking attention to original identity, and you know, a relation between a generation. It was very important for us because, as you know, we have lots of problems between relationship between generation, and you know, and making interaction with other stakeholders, and economical accept related to you know, creating job opportunity, not very big job opportunity. You know, I believe to small business and different small business, and our team try to help this kind of business. Unfortunately, with technology and you know, this way, especially after Corona, I think these ICTs and you know, virtual platform are will be great and greater, and we try to help small business, and we try to have the achievement in environment, and you know, as I told you, we try to have eco-friendly products and help to environment. In next page, you can see sense of place. It's very important for us to improve this sense in villages. And doll makers usually have a deeper understanding of their culture and nature, and they try to save their old building, and they try to listen to grandmother and grandfather, especially young generation. They pay attention to this, and a sense of community is another you know, achievement of this project. You know, it's difficult to talk about project, and I prefer you can come to my country and you can see directly this activity. I hope I can see you in my country. And other achievement is environmental education, social approach, and other things. I think it's better. Please, next page, please. And we try to show this activity to other people, to other countries, because of tourism and because of my field facing with tourists. I introduced this activity to them. For example, that two lady, they live in Mexico, and they come to Iran as a project supporting by UNESCO, and they was very interested in this project, and they sent me some folk dolls from Mexico and other countries, South Korea, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and other countries that we had visit their country and talk about this project. Please, next page. Well, we want to join other country to this activity, to make culture, to find cultural diversity and make a big map as a, from world that every country has completely original folk dance. I hope I think it's okay, enough explanation. If you have any question and any comment, I answer and is.
Okay, thank you so much, Afsaneh. That was amazing. I already knew a lot about your projects, but even me, being a tour guide, being in lots of countries, I picked up lots of new things that I never thought of. I hope everyone enjoyed the presentation. Now we have two more parts of meeting today. If anyone is in a hurry to leave, please message me privately so I can put them in the priority to talk. But now I want, if everyone has any question, please ask. Also, at this stage, if you have any idea for such projects in Iran, for example, you have similar experiences, or you think that it might be a point that can be helpful for Afsaneh to serve the local communities, the local families, or the women involved in that. If you like, you can share with us that as well. And if you like, maybe you can turn on your camera because it's a discussion section. So we feel much closer to each other, but it is all up to you. So who wants to speak first? Nina, would you like to start?
Well, I'm happy just to ask a few questions. It's just so lovely to have the old culture there and see it being revived. And I was really interested to see some of the boys holding the dolls because, you know, going back in time when our children were small, it wasn't usual for boys to have dolls. And I remember when my sister gave my little brother a doll, it was quite something new. She wanted him to experience a doll. So is it quite common for the boys to have those little dolls as well?
Yes, it's very good point. Because of our activities, completely natural, way. During making these dolls, in our culture, it's not very common that a boy and man come to talk about this concept. But when they make them, I can show you this story. We have a something we call it bokche. I can show you. Bokche is clothes that people usually in several parts of Iran put something inside that. And inside, we have some grandmother that have this from old time, generation to generation.
And when we find, it's very interested in this case, and my brand name is Bukche. I find to revive Bukche of Iran. And one time in Soft Khorasan, I find this. It's very, very, it has details. We call it Derakht Zindagi, life trees. And we have this symbol in several parts of Iran, that in carpet and others. I find this symbol, you can see it's a toy, this. At the beginning, I find that it's related to, for example, China and other countries. And we find that it is related to Iran. We call it Gere Sereshti. Nobody's know how we can revive this. Some men, some young men gather together and make this. And after that, we can attract men to these projects because they find this, because they were chupan, I don't know. Chupan chi bud آقای بهمن؟
Shepherd.
Yes, shepherd in that area can find this.
Afsaneh will, yeah, that's.
After that, men and young boy joined us, and we can, gather them in this project too. And we have something, if you let me, I will bring something that made by men. Please wait a minute.
Okay, until Afsaneh comes, is there any other question?
I want to eat.
Sorry?
This is a kind of boats in east south of Iran, made by men. And we have a very important wetland, international wetland in Iran, that unfortunately because of lack of water, it will be dry. But this made by a man, and they told me a story, very nice story. They told me we have school on the boats. For example, this boat was a school, and children teach on the boat, because our life was on the boat.
Perfect. What about the rest? Is there any other question or any idea for such projects in countries like Iran? Yeah, Tara, would you like to talk? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I had a couple of questions. One is that usual for children to have more than one doll, like a family of dolls?
Yes, we are very small institute, and we have lots of.
Yeah, sorry, Afsaneh, I think you probably misunderstood the question. Is it okay I stay impatient? Tara asked, آیا بچه‌ها فقط یه دونه عروسک دارن یا مجموعی از عروسک دارن؟
خب من هم داشتم میگفتم. Yes, we are a small institute, and we have lots of activity. In this process, we try to revive this inside their mind. In the next step, we are trying to have all family, in our culture. I don't know, I am trying to research about this. Women usually just make women, and we have a litter kind of men and family. For example, family with this, you can see this lady with children.
But family with men and, for example, other, except I can show you other cases, they naturally make some dolls. But we are trying in next step that have several kind. Please let me show you inside. You can see this. Can you see this man and this woman with children? Is it clear?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. And we have this. We have this a doll as men. Very simple. You know, it's very interesting that you can see this style in west of Iran. And this man is, you know, a sailor, and very simple. And this is men too, and children. And you can see this. And that's. But in next process, we are trying to ask them make more. For example, you can see this. Can you see? Is it clear?
Yes, 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 yes.
You can see several aspects of culture of Iran. This, for example, is things for, you know, in Iran and in Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and other countries, they make this for at the end of
Hair.
Yes,
Are they like,
at the end
are they like bows, like for your hair? Hair, like
Yes.
hair tie? Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And you can see we are trying to revive everything in other. The first time I bought this made in China, and now I have made in Balochistan in Iran. About your question, yes, we try to revive family dolls.
Family customs, family traditions.
Yes, no, tradition, you know, one reason that we don't force people to make them is in that time and in past, it was not common to use family. You know, in past, everything that you can see is completely related to past, at least 60 years before. But now things, we try to make separate. This is new. For example, family dolls and other is new, but they are completely original, completely related to past.
So I think Afsaneh was mentioning that now that they work on the project, they have the knowledge of what are the oldest style, but also because of the new time, people have some creativity to create some new style dolls that has something from the oldest style, but has some new features as well. They try to make that distinction so people can realize what are the styles of the traditional dolls and what are the dolls that have some new features into that. For example, putting a face on a doll. It's a new feature. So Afsaneh mentioned that as a part of the project, they always try to clarify that distinction.
Yes, originality is very important for us.
Sorry, somebody asked.
I wanted to ask Afsaneh, which there in where you are now, which is your oldest piece that you have there? The oldest doll that you have in that room?
Yes, you know, because of material, you know, we don't have very good archaeologistic, you know, documents. But I heard, you know, I'm very hate of greenwashing, you know, or fake stories. Because of this reason, I usually don't use something in my mind. But I heard that we have, you know, in my country, we have some myths, and we have some very old things that some of my friends that are researchers, they told me we can say they are folk dolls. We have some toys that like this, you know, that I show you. Uh, they they say me this portrait چی باید بگیم بهمن این چی میگیم چیزای قدیمی باستان شناسی چی میگیم
Sorry, could you say it in Persian? I know what you exactly want.
چیزای پیکرک ها رو چی میگیم توی چیز پیکرک های قدیمیمون
اینا دیگه نمیتونم باید فکر کنم. She is mentioning that some of the dolls that in the folk, she couldn't find anything else, but she's got some, Afsaneh has some friends that they are local and folk culture researchers. And they find some dolls that they look like the old figurines, the old statues that you find in archaeological sites. Yes, yes.
Some researchers told me that this kind of, you know, tools in archaeological tools related to, for example, 100 years before, can we call them dolls? But we're not sure about that.
Yeah, it's
because
like
material of this, you know, come back to the nature, and we don't have any documents.
Yeah, like the materials that people use for the dolls are not very sustainable. They cannot sustain, but by the look of it, it's a integrity between the dolls and some of the old figurines, some of the old statues that we find in the excavation.
That little piece that she's holding, what is that made of? That little piece she was showing just then?
Oh, it's wood.
It's wood, is it? Okay,
Yes.
It looks sort of like translucent. I thought it was hard, almost like a bit of rock or something. But it's wood, is it?
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes. This one is
Yes,
wood. This one is wood, but it looks similar to lots of stony thing, like the statues out of a stone that we found in the oldest excavation. So you can
really
extract the same elements here.
So is that meant to be a little person?
Yes.
Do you think?
Yes. Yes.
It's meant to be a little person?
Afsaneh, was it meant to be like a real person?
Please repeat. I didn't understand.
Now, is that toy, the last one, the wooden one? Does that supposed to be a real person? Does that representing a person?
Yes, if you you know, concentrate on the picture, usually people who make this, for example, this lady, Miss Kazemi, is completely similar to this doll, you know. Or for example, our IBB make this, and you had a film in the film, you can see completely you know, similar together. And even clothes, because these clothes related to them, and you know, when they make clothes, other clothes, they use this in their dolls, because usually they are completely similar together.
Awesome, perfect. And if you guys don't have any question, as I see it's getting late and people leaving, maybe we have a quick think of. can we use the dolls for our Australian community, for example, at schools? Can we show how kids can make dolls? Or let's say if we have a workshop that everyone creatively can make some simple dolls from their own culture, something similar to what Tala was mentioning when she was a kid. So what do you think? What we can learn from such a project in a country far away, and how we can use it in our country, in Australia, to transfer the culture, share the cultures of different people, or even transferring the life skills to the kids.
I know that in the Islamic Museum, I've been to a workshop there where they were doing mosaics, and they have children's groups going there to learn different cultures, different things to make. So they could have days like that of doll making, Iranian doll making, and I'm sure the Iranian community would bring their children there to make those dolls, and
Awesome.
not even children.
Yeah, but I traveled in Russia, Nina, and I found lots of similar culture in doll making.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Joya was telling the same. So maybe it's like kids or people, even with touching the dolls or making something simple, that can be a great way of understanding other people's culture. Just an idea that came to my mind. What about you, Emily and Tara? Do you guys have any idea? Like, does that brought you some ideas how we can use such a project or such a concept in our community in Australia?
Yeah, quite possibly. You could probably run some classes at like a local community centre, see whether people are interested in that. Or you could go into schools if it was matched with the curriculum. The schools will, I believe, only do anything that's matched to a curriculum or educational outcome. There may be some opportunity to incorporate it into either an arts type class or a maybe a humanities subject, teach about different cultures. Yeah.
Awesome, perfect. And Emily, how did you think about this project? Do you find something that can be interesting for us as Australians from such a project or from such a concept in the countries far away? If you have any more thoughts, please share with us.
Probably the same as what Tara was saying about introducing it into the schools, or to do some sort of community, like the local community workshops, so that people that are interested, they can learn about it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I've had it on just in the background because I've been trying to get dinner ready with the kids as well.
Okay, so are you cooking at us follow? We're gonna finish it quick, Tara. I know it's dinner time.
No, I'm not.
What are you cooking tonight?
I'm cooking spaghetti marinara.
Okay.
My daughter's doing spaghetti marinara, and I've just done a meatballs and what do you call it, like wedges type thing for Mossy and my son.
Awesome.
Because they're not really into the fish. We're just beef rissoles and wedges.
Okay.
So,
I'm making a coconut vegetable curry.
Oh, yum! I'm coming to your place.
It smells good.
Oh yes, I like curry.
Oh guys, I'm just a single guy and haven't cooked any dinner yet.
Well.
Okay, great. I think Afsaneh, it's about the dinner time in Melbourne. So
thank you very much for
thank
the
you guys
presentation.
for joining. I sorry for the delay at the start. It's just internet problems in Iran. Thanks for waiting. I hope you enjoyed this, and that
thank you very much for the
other
presentation.
ideas. Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation, because I know that the English would have been really hard for you, like to push yourself to think how to say everything.
And you did a good job.
You did a really good job. Now you can go and relax.
Okay, great. So thanks everyone for joining. I hope you have a really good night, and I will see you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
خب چطور بود خانم احسانی؟ خوبی؟